What up, guys? It's a moment for me to the meatless, and I thought today would be a good idea for me to basically let you guys know how to structure, for you guys that don't know, how to structure a fully raw day of eating. Now, I am going to be doing a what I eat in a day video. It's just kind of a little bit, for me to get it all together and get all the meals separately is takes a little bit of foresight, but I'm going to do it for you guys. So we'll make that happen. But this is a basic way to structure a fully raw day of eating, and this is very similar to how I do it. It's just that maybe the exact foods might be a little different or whatever, but I just want you guys to know how to structure it for you guys that have no clue how to do that. Or maybe you're just a little bit unsure of how to do that. And this is how I basically would structure the way that I eat. And how I would structure it for most clients. It depends on your goals. It depends on your activity levels. So the food amounts will be whatever they are, right? How much I eat is not going to necessarily be how much you eat, and how much that person eats isn't necessarily going to be how much this other person eats. So keep that in mind, guys. But the way that I structure it is start out. It's really, really simple. So I do intermittent fasting. Okay, so I'm not crazy strict with it, but I do intermittent fasting, so I don't eat when I wake up. I skip breakfast, right? So I'll eat like a lunch and then a dinner, and then you could look at it as a dinner, and then another dinner, right? So I eat 3 meals, but it's like between lunch and dinner. So my first and second meal are around my workout. So I work out every day, and 6 days a week I work out. Right now, 6 days a week I work out with weights, and then one day I do cardio. But every single day I structure my eating like this. So I'll eat, and then after about 30 minutes to an hour, I'll train. And then after I train, within an hour or two, I'll eat again, and then ideally a couple of hours later I'll eat my last meal. But usually when I finish everything I need to do for the day is when I get my last meal in right before bed. But that's not ideal. If you can get it sooner, then it's a better idea to do that, so your body's not digesting while you're sleeping. So the way that I do it is I'll go fruit. My first meal will be fruit, some freshly ground flax seeds, 2 tablespoons, and protein powder, and all of that will go into a raw cacao. All of that will go into a smoothie, at least most of it. So sometimes I'll have my fruit in my smoothie, and in my smoothie it'll be strawberries, bananas. Oh, I'm supposed to be giving a sample way of eating, not giving my exact, because I'm going to show you guys exactly what I eat. So sample. Sorry guys, forgive me. So let's say you have a smoothie. You start out the day, you have a smoothie. If you don't like smoothies, you start out the day, you have fresh fruit. And you don't have to have protein powder, right? But fruit has a lot of carbs in it. And then maybe you want to have a little bit more protein added. It does have a little bit of protein. And then maybe you want to have your healthy fat as well. So the reason why I would suggest, let's say you're going to have a smoothie, I would suggest putting a couple of tablespoons of freshly ground flax or chia seeds in there, and it needs to be freshly ground, and it does need to be ground, so that you can actually absorb the omega-3. But the reason why I would recommend that is to get those omega-3s, because the fruits that you're getting out of the supermarket are not as high in omega-3 as the fruits you would be getting if you live in the tropics and you were getting fresh, ripe fruit off the trees. So you're not going to be getting those levels of omega-3 that you really want to get. So that's where the flax or the chia comes in. So 2 tablespoons of that. You can have 1 tablespoon of each. Now some people will tell you that that hemp seeds are a good source of omega-3 and that walnuts are a good source of omega-3. They're not, because the omega-3 in hemp seeds and walnuts is less than the omega-6. But they have omega-3, but it's less. And the way that omega-3 and omega-6 work, it's like however much omega-3 you have, your omega-6 needs to match or be within a reasonable amount higher than that, but no more than, let's say, around 6 times the omega-6 to omega-3. So it's fine to eat things with higher omega-6 than omega-3, which most things have, but you want to keep it within a certain range. And when you start to get like into seed oils and chicken and like different certain things, the omega-6 is super high. It's way more than 6 times the amount of omega-3, and that can result in inflammation in the body. And if you have inflammation over time constantly, you can develop different sicknesses. So that's why you want to do that. So anyway, that's a complicated way of saying that I recommend that you start off with like 2 tablespoons of flax or chia seeds, freshly ground, or 1 tablespoon of each. And then you can throw that in a smoothie. Doesn't need to be a smoothie. You don't have to have a smoothie. You can just have fruit, and you can have that in a fruit bowl, or, you know, fresh, maybe like buckwheat made into a granola cereal kind of thing, and you can put your flax or chia in there. There's a bunch of different ways to do it, guys. But you start with that. I like to add some protein powder because I gotta hit some decently high protein values for the day, and I definitely recommend it. But I'm not gonna say it's necessary. It's not necessary. So that would be like a meal number 1. And then let's say you have a second meal, and the second meal would be different fruits, right? And you don't have to, but it's not a bad idea to throw in some dark leafy greens. So if you have a smoothie, throw in a little bit of dark leafy greens, not so much that it's gonna ruin the smoothie, but throw some in there, and you'll notice that it digests better and you feel even better. So that's number 1. Meal number 2 could be a different kind of fruit or multiple different kinds of fruit, and whatever fruit you want, and you're having that, and maybe you're having another tablespoon or 2 of flax or chia for those omega-3s. And you don't have to do that, right? If you had your 2 tablespoons, you're good, right? But something like that. And then if you're me and it's post-workout, then you're having protein again, because I want to get those amino acids into the muscles so I can build them. So there's that. And then meal number 3 would be closer to bed, maybe ideally within a couple of hours before bed. But for me, it's usually right before bed. But I would recommend something like a salad, a big salad with a bunch of different leafy greens. Make sure you have dark leafy greens. It doesn't have to be a bunch. You don't have to be fancy with it. If it's just spinach, that's okay. You know, if it's just kale, that's okay. But a variety is good. Maybe throw some celery in there, or at some point in the day, maybe have a celery juice or something like that. Celery is really good for the minerals and the salts. You know, you get your electrolytes that you need. But dark leafy greens, some, you know, whatever you want, tomatoes, cucumber, different colored bell peppers. Maybe you want to put a sauce on there, whatever kind of a sauce you want to put on there, but just make sure you make it yourself. And then, what else? So maybe have some berries, like some wild blueberries or some strawberries with that, since those are really, they don't have many calories at all, so it's not like eating a bunch of carbs before bed, which you just don't need to do. For most of you guys especially, like, you're not even as active as I probably am. So if you eat a bunch of carbs before bed, you're basically saying, here body, here's some energy that you can readily use right now. And your body's like, I don't need all that energy, I'm about to sleep. You do need some energy, but you don't need that kind of readily available energy. So the way that I like to approach that is having fats. So those fats you can have nuts, seeds, try to keep it raw, try to keep it unsalted. And I'm not against, like, you can have salt, but just, you know, you don't need to get salted nuts from the store. So that's not even like the good salt. If you're gonna use salt, if you really wanna use the best salt, Celtic sea salt or Redmond's real salt are the best ways to go. My favorite is Celtic sea salt. So there's that. And, but you have some of that, maybe some avocado with your salad, and then that's it. That's your dinner, and then you can have like a dessert of some berries. And berries will just make you feel so good, right? You have all the greens, and then you have the berries, and it really makes you feel good. Berries are really healthy, for multiple reasons that I won't go into right now for the sake of saving time, because I'm at 10 minutes. But that's it, guys. So that's like a basic day of eating raw vegan. If you do that, you'll make sure that you're getting the vitamins and minerals that you need. Don't be afraid to supplement B12. I don't, but I have. But I would recommend, get your levels checked if you're not going to supplement, because I don't want anybody, coming to me like, man, hey, my health, blah, blah, blah. I don't want any of that. So yeah, B12, and, make sure that you're getting things like, when you get plenty of dark leafy greens, like a lot, right? A lot, way more than normal people eat, which is usually none. But when you get plenty of raw dark leafy greens, you get your minerals. You get the minerals, right? And there's other stuff you can use to get your minerals as well. Oh, and one last thing, some form of seaweed every single day. So whether that's a couple of nori sheets, whether that's a little bit of kelp, whether that's sea moss, whatever you want to have, just some kind of seaweed, and that will give you your iodine, because you're not going to get it from any other source. So you don't want to be low in iodine for prolonged periods of time, because it can mess with your energy production and your metabolism. So definitely make sure to get some kind of seaweed every single day. Dulse is another good one. But yeah, guys, that's it. That would be like a basic day of eating. And I feel like, why did this take so long for me to describe? It's breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You don't have to intermittent fast like me. You can get up and eat in the morning, and then eat lunch, and then eat dinner. However you want to do it is fine. You don't have to be crazy. Just get that variety, right? Have a variety of fruits. Have a variety of veggies. Make sure to get your berries in. Make sure to get your dark leafy greens. Lots of dark leafy greens in. Get your celery in. So those things, and make sure to get your seaweed in. And if you do that every day, and make sure to get your omega-3s through your flax and your chia. If you do that every day, you're going to cover so many of your nutritional needs that you're not going to have to worry about deficiencies, because you'll be in it for the long run. But anyway, guys, man, there's so much for me to say on that topic, but that's it. We'll wrap it up there for today. And my email will be down below if you guys want to work with me, if you want to get in amazing shape, if you want to get ripped, if you want to build muscle, if you want to be healthy, if you want to learn how to eat raw vegan, and you want someone to guide you through the process, then send me an email and maybe we can work together. And that's it. See you on the next one. Peace.